Good evening. Good evening. Ooh.
Evening, Richard.
Good evening, Paul. Welcome to a cultured intellectual evening with Richard and Paul.
It's our read-along.
We're going to talk about books. Books to read and enjoy.
As opposed to what? Books
to hate and destroy.
Or just put on a bookshelf so that people think you read?
Yeah.
Or to put under something to level it off?
That's right.
That's what, yeah.
Books are good ornaments too.
Are they?
Yeah, some books look nice. Selection of books in a corner. People come and go, They read.
Oh, they're intellectual. Yeah.
They read.
Yours would all be like Famous Five, wouldn't they?
And Ladybird books. In fact, this month's choice is Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Oh,
I had the French version when I was learning French, trying to learn French.
Well, you did learn. You did quite well.
I had Goldilocks in French.
Is that Goldilocks?
No, it's Boucle d'Or.
Oh, right.
Boucle d'Or.
Yeah. I love it you remembered that. Yeah.
I had a few children's books because actually when you're learning a language, reading a children's book is very often beneficial because you kind of understand it.
It's got pictures.
And it's got pictures. No, but it helps put it together.
I know it does.
The language is simple, which of course when you're starting off you have to use simple language because, you can't express yourself in another language until you learn it fluently.
I think you do very well expressing yourself in French.
I don't express myself in French at all.
And Australian.
Oh, Australian? No, I can do that.
Yeah. You've learnt that one quite well.
I'm fluent in Australian.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Effluent, in fact.
Effluent?
Yeah.
Very effluent. Let's get on with the bloody show, Paul, because new viewers may wonder what the hell is going on.
Absolutely.
This is how we rock and roll. If you don't like it, then buzz off.
So, Richard, we're on to our second lot of books to read.
Yes, episode 3 of Richard and Paul's Read Along. That's Richard and Paul's Read Along here on YouTube.
Isn't it Richard and Paul's Read Along since 2023?
No.
That's Richard. No, it's not.
Let's get on with the show. So we've made our choices. You were desperate, many of you, frantic to know what our next choices were. Are, is, how.
When, now.
When, where, what, why, how.
Richard, what is your choice?
Right, well, those of you who follow us on our newsletter know that a while back I talked about revisiting books that I'd read before. And the focus in that article was the books that I've enjoyed, that I've read before, that are like old friends, that give you a sense of comfort and joy.
Homely.
Comfort and joy, that's seasonal. Just give you that feeling, when you dive back into that world that the author has created and enjoy it. And so this choice is kind of similar to that, only the first time I read this book I did not enjoy it. Because I read it was part of the curriculum at school. I can't remember which year. I'm sure one of my friends will remember this. Lisa, if you're watching, I'm sure you'll remember what year we were in when we read this, because we were in the same class. And I did not enjoy it. I was more interested in teenage thoughts rather than this book.
So you're a teenager?
I was definitely a teenager, early teens. And I was in one of the higher classes because I was good at English, but I was not interested in being told what to read. The minute somebody told me what to do or what to read, I could go on. I could go on. I was very vocal about it probably, but I didn't ever like being told what to do. ever, and I still don't. I don't mind being asked,
No, you don't like being told what to
but
do.
I don't like being told.
He doesn't.
If you want me to do something, please ask. Anyway, and the book is, I hope this will show up because I'm reading the Kindle edition, and the book that I've chosen is that showing up, Paul, can you see?
Yeah.
The Chrysalids by John Wyndham.
Mm.
Now,
I've not read that one.
I've read The Midwich Cuckoos, I've read Day of the Triffids, I've read... What's the other one?
Not sure.
No, I don't think I have read any more of John Wyndham's.
I've only read those two.
And I've read The Chrysalids, and I can kind of remember what it's about, but I can't really remember the details. So that's what I'm going to be reading, Paul. That's
Excellent.
it.
And
That's
did you
it.
enjoy the Midwich Cuckoos when you read it?
Yeah, I think I did, because I was choosing to read it myself. It wasn't my favourite book.
Day of the Triffids?
Day of the Triffids, yes, I did enjoy, but of course we've seen so many adaptations of the Day of the Triffids and movies and series that, you know, it kind of all blends together. You know, I mean, how many times can you tell that story?
I mean, I think the BBC, well, there was the original series, I can't remember if that was BBC or not, but then I know they've done sort of like two modernish adaptations.
Well, I remember
as
the
well,
one with John Dutteen.
Yeah.
Which was really, I mean, it was not very good. I mean, those Triffids were on wheels, Paul.
Well, they were, yeah.
And they were wobbling as they went. They didn't have anything scary about them at all, did they?
But it's quite interesting to...
I'm more scared of a Venus flytrap.
It's more interesting. It's really interesting to look at how those three adaptations. I quite like to watch those again, just see how different they are.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, really. Yeah, very different.
Yeah, but the adaptation of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the movie, was quite good. Was quite scary, wasn't it? And weird as well. So anyway, let's move on, Paul. What's your book choice? Tell us now.
I have two sort of book choices. One, and they're both Dickens, and they're both ghost stories. So I thought that was quite apt to do a ghost story around Christmas. And the first one is Charles Dickens' The Signalman.
Oh, yeah.
And this has been adapted as well. And I remember reading this when I was about maybe 12, something like that. And I want to read it again, so I'm going to be doing that. And it was Denham Elliott, I think, in the adaptation, the dramatisation, and that is really, really good. I remember that, and it's occasionally on, and even now I watch it if it's on or record it. Yeah,
last year, didn't we? Yeah.
The other one is that is a short story that will take you. It's not this whole book because there's other stories in there, but I think that will most probably take an hour or a couple of hours to read maximum. This one, Charles Dickens' The Haunted House.
Ooh.
It's actually, this one's quite interesting. So this was published in 1866. This one was 1859.
Mine was 1955.
And I think it was all around the world, his series. And he was writing quite a lot of sort of ghost stories and things around that time for Christmas, you know, over his sort of latter years, I think. And this one, I have read one of the stories in it, but not all of them. And the interesting thing about this is it's got, I think, 3 stories by Charles Dickens, and then it's got one by Wilkie Collins, and at some point we will read The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins.
Oh, that's another one. I remember The Moonstone. Really? I'm not reading that one.
Well, I'm going to read that again. I really enjoyed that.
That was one of the ones I didn't enjoy at school.
And Elizabeth Gaskell has written one here as well.
So, sorry, what are you actually reading from this book? I'm
This
confused.
whole book. So it's
So
Charles
is this available
Dickens.
to buy?
Yeah, it's available to buy, but it's also available on Google Books to read completely for free.
Oh.
This one is available, the Signalman is available from Gutenberg Press to read online completely free. So we're going to put those links up down below. So you can either go online and buy the books, you can get them at a library, or you might be able to find them in second-hand bookshops. But otherwise you can read them completely free online, and we'll put the link below.
So what if people just want to choose one of the stories? Which
They
ones
can-
would you recommend?
I don't know, because I've not read this
The
one.
Signalman.
The Signalman, definitely,
Yeah.
and then this whole book.
Okay, so you haven't read any of the stories in this
I've
one?
read none of them in this one, and it's not particularly long. I mean, this book is 128 pages. So it's not a long book, and it's not particularly, it's small text, but not particularly small. It's not like a normal sort of Charles Dickens tome, if you like.
Good,
So,
'cause
yeah.
I won't be reading them.
So those are ghost stories. So I thought it was good to have a selection of ghost stories for Christmas.
I don't think I've ever read any Dickens.
You've never read Dickens?
No.
That doesn't surprise
I think
me.
I tried and thought, what?
My first Dickens was Great Expectations, and it took me 2 years, from 8 till I was 10, to read that.
And I've tried watching the movies, but I just
What about
find...
David Lean ones?
I just...
I think there was a really good adaptation of Great Expectations in the maybe
What's
late
the one
70s.
with the old lady in the house? There's an old lady in the house.
There's several with old
She's in
ladies
an old...
the house.
She's in a house, and then there's some candles at some point, and then there's... The
With the
house is on
wedding.
fire.
Yeah, that's Great Expectations. Yeah, and her daughter.
Oh, is she the one that didn't get married?
Yeah,
Mrs. Havisham.
Miss.
Havisham.
Miss. Yeah,
I do really know.
you do.
I'm just
yeah.
joking. Just for comedic effect.
Lovely, lovely. Are you
Okay,
not going to
Paul.
read any of these? I think you should. I think you should read The Signalman.
Well, let's just see whether I can be converted.
I doubt that. Not at the ripe old age of 39, anyway. No.
Why
No,
not?
no.
I might be converted.
Right.
To a Dickens fan, Paul. What do you think? What are you talking
No,
about?
I knew that's what you meant. Yeah, yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
So that's it for episode 3 of the Read Along. Those are our book choices. If you want to read along with us, then please do. And then we can discuss and review in the next episode, episode 4, which will be in approximately 1 month's time. Approximately.
Yeah.
Thereabouts. Whichsoever.
Yeah. Okay.
So, it's time to say goodbye now, Paul. Let's say goodbye.
What is this, Mary Munger and Midge all of a sudden or something? Or is it Bill and Ben? I don't know. Yeah, one of those.
Let's say goodbye to all the viewers. Thank you for tuning in this week to this episode of Rich and Paul's Read Along. Bye for now.
Bye.